Today is day 34, and we're reading from Exodus 13 through 15. The day of God's great deliverance arrives. Everything has been building and leading up to this. All the plagues, everything is staging the way for God to show his incredible, awesome power. So he leads them the long way out of Egypt. It's an interesting thing. If you find it, you probably saw that in your reading, that God didn't take them a shorter route because he knew that if he did and things got a little difficult, they want to head back to Egypt. So he took them the long way around so that it would not be convenient to do that. So he knows their heart. God knows their hearts, and he knows their frame, just like he knows you and my frame. And he's sovereign, so he navigates our lives in such a way that is going to be most fitting for our longevity in our faith for Christ. Now, when things get tough, they're going to want to head back to Egypt. This will come up again and again where they say, well, hey, we were better off in Egypt, and remember we had better food there. And you'll just keep an eye on that. You're going to see that, and you'll understand why God has done this. Moses takes the bones of Joseph. Think of that. 400 years after the death of Joseph, it was so important for Joseph to be back in his homeland under that covenant promise and provision that he would be there. All of that points to the reality of a resurrection. That's why it's important for you and I to understand these graves are going to open up when Jesus returns, and our spirits will be reunited with a glorified body. Now, God plans this annual party that he wants his people to celebrate, so the people won't forget what he's done. It's the Passover dinner along with the 7 days of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. This would be for them an opportunity to continue to remind their children's children of the faithfulness of God and the power of God. Now, the angel of the Lord leads them out of Egypt. The glory cloud is behind them, separating both camps between the Pharisees and or the Egyptians and the Israelite camp. And the angel that's mentioned there, no doubt, is the angel of the Lord, or the angel that is the Lord Jesus Christ himself. The Egyptians, along with Pharaoh, question themselves after the Israelites leave and ask themselves, Pharaoh says, why did we do this? Okay, so then they get all riled up and they're going to go back after. When the children of Israel see the armies of Egypt and all the chariots and Pharaoh, they are terrified and they're afraid, and they begin complaining. Now you watch, this will become a pattern in them. Let this be a warning to all of us, but they begin to question why we are better off in Egypt. This is the belly aching that becomes a very common part of their pan. Moses settles the people down, and then he says to them these words I love: stand still, and you'll see the salvation of the Lord. Your salvation and my salvation is contingent upon standing still and relying wholeheartedly on what God can do. God says to Moses, why are you crying to me? I like this part as well. He says, listen, stop praying, start marching, really is what he's saying to them. He's already told Moses that he was going to deliver them. And so he says, don't look to me now, just tell the people to start walking across. The Lord fights for them, and it's remarkable. He's frustrating the Egyptians. That's what the Bible tells us, that he frustrated them. He's taken off their chariot wheels, and they realize then, hey, this is none other than the Lord. Their God is fighting for them, and they begin to try to flee from there. And then, of course, God destroys every one of them, all of the chariots, all of the army, and along with Pharaoh himself. Archaeological discoveries have uncovered at the bottom bed of the Red Sea actual footage and photos of chariot wheels. This is incredible to consider how the power of God was displayed here. So the Israelites saw how the dead and how God had dealt with the Egyptians, and how God had delivered them out of their hands. The people now says they begin to fear the Lord, and they believed God, and they believed Moses. They sing the first worship song that we find in the scriptures, and it's all about God's deliverance. The horse and the rider are thrown into the sea. You got singing and dancing and tambourine. You got Miriam there. And Miriam, interestingly, the sister of Moses, no doubt, was the one who helped rescue the baby Moses by navigating that little box down the Nile and then into the hands of Pharaoh's daughter. God used her, and she's a part of this journey. From worship to complaining in 5 seconds, this we begin to see is the pattern of the Israelites. But in these chapters, God shows his incredible, awesome power, and the Israelites are rejoicing because their God is faithful.